Hello and welcome to another episode of MS Talks. In today's episode, we will be speaking about real estate, prop tech, future of work and living spaces, investments, consumer spending, and more, with quite a personality in the region. From the UAE's oldest and largest full-service real estate brokerage, we have Richard Waind, who's the Group Managing Director at Betterhomes. Hey, Richard, how you doing?
Hi, Aaron. Good to see you. How's things?
All good. Thank you so much. How's things been?
Very good. But funny
what a year it must have been, right? Not just for you, I mean for the industry as well.
Well, we spent the last day or two reviewing our business plans for 2021, and in doing that, we looked back at our business plans for 2020, and it's interesting looking back at our projections for 2020 a year ago and how the actual year's turned out. But yeah, it's been a funny year, roller coaster of the year.
I can imagine. I mean, from fluctuating demands and supply to all of a sudden it converting into a buyer's market, to the interest rates, banks, the unpredictability in the market, Expo moving to next year. I mean, yet here we are. I follow you on LinkedIn. I follow Betterhomes and everything that's happening. And you and your team have, I believe, have managed to thrive and come out of this fairly successfully. I mean, what drove this growth in such current climate?
We've had a busy year in terms of growth. We've opened 3 new companies into the group over the last 6 months. We're about to move into a new office up in Motor City. We're taking a new office which is 13,000 square feet, and that is to accommodate the growth of the business. How this year have we done it? But I think there's 2 elements to it. Number one is the people. We are very fortunate. We've got a really strong group of people here who adapted very, very quickly and dug in and supported each other and supported the business through the dark days of lockdown and as we came out of that. And then the second point really is confidence. We had confidence in the marketplace. We've certainly got confidence in UAE and Dubai and the future of the UAE and Dubai. So really in the summer, it was a case of identifying opportunities that the pandemic and the market's presenting us, and then having the confidence to push forward because, like in all markets, there are those that are going to be brave. And if you're going to be a little bit brave, sensibly brave, I guess, during these times, then there's real opportunity to be had. So no, it's been a busy year. It's been a roller coaster of a year. But as we come to the end of it, I think we can look back pretty pleased with how it's gone fundamentally at the end.
Absolutely. And I believe a roller coaster always brings out so many opportunities. It goes down to the leadership of this country as well. We've all seen how well the leadership has led the country to almost full recovery. I mean, Expo coming in next year as well. Even after everything that's gone down this year, Expo is yet to happen, and Expo is coming in next year. There are tons of developments that are ready. There are tons more that are nearing completion. There'll definitely be a lift in supply, but I believe there will be a lift in demand as well because of Expo, because of Israel, because of everything that's been happening right now. How well do you think we are positioned? We still had a pandemic. We can't forget about that. How well do you think we are positioned to get through this than what was initially planned? I mean, do you think there will be an upward or a downward trend in prices and demand?
From a real estate point of view,
yes.
Look, we've actually, the whole world has seen a bit of an uplift in demand for property post-pandemic or during the pandemic, and that's because everyone's reassessed their living arrangements. Everybody's thinking, I'm not just living here, I'm working here, I'm teaching my kids, my gym is my living room. So I think that emotional process we've all been through over the last 12 months has really driven demand, domestic end user demand across the globe. What's been interesting here is that's been coupled with value added into the market because we've seen prices from a peak in 2014 come down over 6 years. So lots of emotional demand plus affordability from today's prices has meant that demand domestically here in Dubai has been very, very busy for the last 5 or 6 months, and transactions now are at the highest levels we've seen for many years. We're also now starting to see prices turn, particularly in sort of core, some of the core villa communities. We're starting to see those price reductions reverse, and we're starting to see prices rise a little bit. Now, will that continue into next year? we can only take an educated guess at that. But whereas this has been very much a domestic demand driving it, what I think we'll see next year, as the planes start flying again and vaccines come in and the world returns to some sort of normality, then Dubai is open to the rest of the world again. And we are an international city, of course, the Dubai, the UAE. I really, one point you just made about the leadership of Dubai and the way we have navigated this year as a country, I think it is very, very important. I think we've navigated what has been an incredibly difficult year for countries, but also for individuals. And, that's not to say people haven't had a very difficult time here. Of course they have. But I think we have come out of it pretty well. And our standing internationally, I think, has come out of it very well. I think some of the steps taken by the UAE over the last couple of months, as you mentioned, Israel, some of the changes in the laws over the last couple of months, welcoming, opening up, welcoming, looking to encourage investment and expats into the city, sets us in really, really good stead for 2021. So I'm positive. I think the market will continue at a pace next year. And that's not even talking about Expo, Expo.
I mean, you didn't even mention about the retirement visa and the 10-year golden cards and everything that's coming.
Lots and lots. The visa. We did some work. We did some content about the visas last month from Betterhomes, and I think that's a really smart move. We're an aging population globally, of course, and I know where I'm from is Stockport in South Manchester. If I was retiring, I know where I'd rather be. I'd rather be out here with the sun and the sand and the sea. So,
no, absolutely.
I think there's been some really, really positive steps taken by the country that will allow Dubai and the UAE to become a net gainer from the global and regional uncertainties that obviously coronavirus has created. I suspect we will really start to see people moving and seeing Dubai as the opportunity place to both live and start businesses here over this next sort of 6 to 12 months. We're seeing it already. We're already seeing people in the last couple of months. We've all started seeing a lot more people coming back and visiting, which is great to see.
And you can already see it in the airports. You can see it in the malls. You can see it at the beaches as well. There is confidence in traveling, and people want to come here because of how we are open right now. And again, it all goes down to the leadership. I was talking to my friends as well, and every single person that I've spoken to, quite a few of them have told that there's no place they would have rather been at, when it came to the main core months of the pandemic. And I think that just goes to show the faith and the confidence that people have in this country, in the leadership, in the vision, in everything that's happening over here itself. And I think all of that leads to real estate to an upward direction, and obviously the Expo and everything coming in as well. I just wanted to get involved into I think the talk of the town, not just in real estate, but I think in every industry, every part of the world, and that's tech and digital. We've seen a rise in virtual viewings, virtual reality, augmented reality, and so many more innovations. I mean, every day there's a new innovation that's coming out, right? When it comes to prop tech. I might be wrong, but I still believe real estate is still one of those industries where it's all about feel and presence and human connection, and you go and you fantasize things and you dream about things, but there's clearly a shift happening. I mean, there's a reason why everyone's investing in it as well. So just wanted to gain your thoughts on prop tech, on digital innovations, and how all of this is shaping up the real estate now and for the future.
Well, look, I think technology has revolutionized all our lives and absolutely has done in the property world. I remember it wasn't that many years ago that I started out in real estate. We used to get the newspapers delivered to us in the morning. We spent the first hour circling our opportunities with a market pen. The world has changed. It's unrecognizable from then. And where technology has really helped with real estate, it's helped with the ability for customers to interact and see what is available. And there's been great strides in the way we can communicate and work with our customers from Zoom recently to the greater availability and distribution of data and all the rest of it. Where I think prop tech is now and should be in the future is prop tech should be things that enhance the the service and enhance the experience of the customer. But that should be an enhancement alongside with very good brokerage. Not poor brokerage. Poor brokerage should fall by the wayside and should be replaced. But good brokerage that adds genuine value to the customer, plus great technology that adds experience to the customer. That's absolutely the future. So yeah, long may continue. I mean, things like AR, AI. I think there is an element which you were sort of alluding to with property, that it remains such a big investment for most people that there is a human element that they still want to go and see it, touch it, feel it, experience it. And particularly in the residential end user home buying market, that's not going to go. I'm not going to go and buy a family house for me and my kids and my wife without going in there and seeing it and feeling it and getting a feel for it. Where I think there will be more automation and more technology, and we're seeing this already, is on the investor side of things.
Absolutely.
So we sell properties at the moment in the UK. Most of those properties that we sell in the UK, our investors are buying them as an income-generating asset, and they won't go there. They won't go and see it. They won't go and feel it.
No, 100%.
But they can now do their virtual tours. They can do VR walkthroughs on what we're selling, and I think that really does help.
Which wasn't
really
available. Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's not a one-size-fits-all when it comes to property. We deal with lots of different types of property. We deal with lots of different types of buyers, end users, investors, and I think the appropriate technology on both sides will be very good.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think it goes down to, as you mentioned, convenience, experience, added value, ease of doing business. I mean, whether it's from an investment point of view or whether it's for a personal point of view, it's all about what's the added benefit from technology. I mean, if it's just something fancy, maybe it looks good, but what's the real benefit in it for both the parties, to invest in it as well?
Yeah, and I think from a business's investment point of view, it's really, really, really important that technology is a buzz. It's all prop tech is a buzzword. That's been around for a number of years, but it shouldn't be technology for technology's sake. It needs to add genuine value or give genuine efficiencies to the business for it to make it worthwhile.
No, 100%. I couldn't agree more. I have so many more questions to ask, but I'm just going to ask you one more. I'm going to ask you quite a few things. I don't know how long of an answer you might have to give, but let me just. I mean, it's all about there's big talk about sustainability. There always has been, but I think the pandemic has just accelerated talks around sustainability, around open living and workspaces, around open spaces in general, health, well-being. These are hotter now than they've ever been, in my opinion. And how well do you think UAE, not just UAE, I think this region is placed to grow, to attract more investments, and all these topics that I've just mentioned to you. How do you think will impact the real estate industry for the years to come? I mean, because I believe considerable amount of investments have already been done when it comes to plans, when it comes to proper developments happening. But all these things have just accelerated to a whole nother level. So do you think this will have an impact to the industry?
Well, I mean, absolutely. Again, it's going to have a big impact on all our lives, and to sort of boil all those points down into 2 or 3 minutes is very challenging. So I first came to Dubai in, I think it was 2004. And, it really back then felt still very much like an oil town, a bit frontier town. And when I came back over the years and I was settled there more recently, the change in the sustainability, the change in the environment was night and day. I've got 2 young kids. It is such a great open city, full of parks, full of great communities that are frankly set up for that open living and open society, which is great. There are, as you'll know, there are some very specialised communities. We've got Sustainable City, which is a great community to go visit if you've not been there, where there's no cars on site. You have a little buggy. Most people get a lot.
I've always passed through it. I've never been in it. It's
fantastic. It's a really special community. We've recently been selling for a developer called Green Development, who have got the first fully sustainable building here in Dubai, which is, everything from their water to their electricity is fully sustainable. So there's a lot of these things coming. I think we'll see a lot more of this coming in the future. I think any developer looking to the future 100% has to have sustainability and that fully baked into what they're producing. And that goes both from the community outlook, because frankly, this is a competitive marketplace. Buyers do have options, and buyers will choose with their feet. They go for the communities where they have that sustainable living element to it, and the real community element to it. But also, I think looking at the the environmental element of sustainability as well is going to be increasingly important in the next 3, 4, 5, 10 years going forward. So it's going to play a big part. And as I say, I think people will. The market shifts with demand, and I think people are more and more going to demand that. So developers who don't shift with the times will struggle.
Absolutely. I mean, I think sustainability, climate change, open spaces, we knew that, it's going to come in, and it's going to come in big, because there have been conversations for a very long time. And I think the pandemic just came in at the right time for such topics, because, I mean, look at the amount of cyclists outside now. I've been born and brought up in this country, and never in my life have I seen these many cyclists and joggers and the e-mobility bikes and everything as well.
You can't get down our country on an early morning weekend.
I myself just got a bicycle just very recently, just see everywhere else. I was like, you know what, I need one right now as well. And every weekend I'm going out to some or the other cycle track just to enjoy it right now. And, and all of this goes down to, those open spaces that you mentioned about.
Well, look, I mean, this is a city of, it's a built up city, and we've got some amazing architecture and we've got some amazing high-rise buildings, but I don't think everyone out of Dubai also understands or appreciates how much open space we have, from the beaches to the parks, to the communities where most of them have been built with villas, to obviously the desert and beyond. So, I mean, the last point on it, really, you mentioned you've got a bike and there's more people. I do think there's obviously been many, many challenges to the pandemic, but there have also been some opportunities on our own lives from the pandemic. And I think one of the things that have come out for a lot of people is looking at our own lives in a more sustainable manner.
100%.
Getting out there and living a little bit and spending a bit of time with our family, and getting outside and spending a bit of time in the great outdoors,
in the open,
getting ourselves fit and all the rest of it. And, I hope that is a long-term mental benefit for most people as we come out of 2020.
Couldn't agree more. I hope these positives come out and stay forever. I mean, I hope the vaccine just removes all the negatives away, and we recover, and rather we grow. I'm quite confident, with Expo and everything coming in as well, and everything that we just discussed. We are shaped up to coming out stronger from where we were earlier this year. But anything that you would like to highlight, announce, suggest? I mean, not just to the real estate industry. I mean, I'm hoping that there'll be a lot more industries, people involved in other areas that would be watching this show later on. Anything else that you would like to close this talk on right now?
No, I think probably just touch back on something we were saying earlier, the fact that Dubai, the UAE, as we go into 2021, I think it's going to be a really exciting place to be. We are still in many ways a very, very young nation. We're entering our 50th year next year, which 50th I'm very excited about. Yeah, it's going to be the 50th anniversary next year. We just had the 49th, and that was good fun.
50 and Expo in the same year. I can't even imagine the celebrations over here.
Yeah, this, Sam, as well as I do. When we do events over here, we do them properly. So I just think it's going to be a really exciting year for the nation, for residents. I think there's some really interesting and very positive movements by the government over the last 2 months. There will be more announcements. I have no doubt there'll be more announcements coming out in January and February as this country keeps moving forward. So, I think all in all, 2020 is not the year any of us would have wished for at the start of it, but we've come through it as well as could be expected, and I'm very excited for 2021.
We got to take the positives and just hope for the best. Rather, not just hope for the best, but be confident in everything that's going to come out. Well, Richard, Pleasure speaking to you. I hope we get to do this once again. In the future, we will be launching. We will be launching some physical events as well.
Good man.
100%.
Cheers, Darren.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Richard. Pleasure speaking to you.
Very welcome. Thank you. Bye bye.